What's going on, guys? Big welcome to you all to our channel. We are Team Crushing the Meta. You are here with D-Boy. We are back to talk about another Spike Weather video, and this time we'll talk about Vanguard Zero. So you guys may think, yo, D-Boy, do you play Vanguard Zero? Well, I play pretty much everything that has Spike Weather in it. So if it's Vanguard Zero, it's Vanguard GX, if it's Area, if it's whatever, I will play it. So now we have the legions in Vanguard Zero, and during this video I will talk about the new cards, so the cards that we have got. I will talk about the deck building, because you could build different decks, and I will also show you a trick at the end of the video on how to get so many cards or so many points or so many tickets without having to pay money or even using your gems. So stay till the end of the video to know the trick. But let's start actually with the event itself. So the event is actually a little bit different than what we normally get. So basically you actually go from the main menu, and whenever you get your stamina back, you'll be able to play some character fights, and from the character fights you will be able, of course, to get some points or tickets. So let's do quick fight right here, 3, 5, or whatever you can do with your stamina, and then from this you pretty much get your tickets. So with that you'll be able to use those tickets to play and challenge the fighters in the challenge, in the event itself. So you go here and then you click quick fight or whatever, and then you click on the maximum that you could make. So let's just do 8, or let's just go to medium and we can do 9, or you go less. Pretty much 9 is okay. Let's see, how much do we need? We need 7, so we'll wait a little bit and then we could make 10, which is better. And what you do is you pretty much play very easy, normal, hard, and very hard. And if you do so, then you also get the same for the Murokumo. So you will do that as well. And of course, if you get both, then you pretty much will do the very hard each day because you want to challenge them. And with that, you get the gems that you could use to build or make those cards. So the event is self-explanatory, the same as always. The one thing that is different is now that you actually could not get the new cards from opening packs. No, you could only get them by the exchange, and now you pretty much get to the rent tickets, as I like to call them, and then you could buy them here. As you can see, I bought all the SPs, and for these two NSP I actually made them, because you could also make them. But it costs a lot to make, of course, the double rares and the triple rares, or the golden and the rainbow in SPs. So pretty much I actually bought those that you see on the screen, and I made the other ones. I also bought the all the SPs that I could get, so that's pretty cool. And I didn't buy any of the normal ones yet because I didn't find it necessary to get those, but you could get those as well if you want to. I have some points left that I maybe could open up some packs or do whatever I want with them. If I want to get the normal cards as well, then it will cost me more. It will cost me 600 for this one, 200 for this one, so that's 8, and then that would be 1050, and then I will be able to get every copy of those as well for collection, and then I need a little bit tickets, not much, so we could do that as well, or we could just open some of these packs, because that's amazing as well, so we could have a bigger chance to get SPs or just get gems. Alright, so the cards that we have got. So as you can see, we have 3 different legions, or the legions that we actually have in Spike Brothers, and we have also received 2 extra cards with that as well. So we'll go to deck building, and we will show you those cards as well. So let's just create a new deck before I get to that deck building. I will show you first the cards. So we do Kyo, right here because Gyo is main Spike Boy. And let's show you the legions, so the cards that we have got, which are pretty much these. And we have all of them in beautiful SPs, and then we also have the legion mates. Here we go. And we also add in 2 new cards that, as I said, I have built. I didn't buy them because if you have so many gems left, you could just build them because these are not expensive to make. And for the great one, we also have a Vanguard booster that we also add to the new cards. Is it this one? Nah, it's not. It's this one. Yeah. Alright, so these are all the new cards that we have gotten. Let's start with the Great One. So the Great One, which is a card that you could make very easily, you could just craft. You don't buy it because that's a waste of money. What it does is when this unit boosts a Vanguard, if you are in Legion, then it gets plus 4k. This is not that good actually because it would make a 10k booster, but you're boosting a Legion, which means you're boosting for 30, and that doesn't really make any sense. Boosting for 30 or boosting for 26 is kind of the same, so even if this card does not get any power, it's kind of the same, so you will never use this card. The second card that we have got is during your turn, if you are in Legion, this unit gets extra 4k. It's only 8k and it will become a 12k. It's a good hitter, but we actually have better cards that hit. And if you're in Legion, you would actually rather just use the Silver Blaze because the Silver Blaze could get the extra 10k. That makes a huge difference, especially if you boost it with a 7k because that would hit the magical numbers. So those are the 2 cards that we have got, the Great One and the Great Two, as additional to the 3 legions. For the legions, we will start with the rainbow one, or triple R, whatever you want to call it, and this is the Emerald Blaze. The Emerald Blaze legions with the Silver Blaze. If you don't know what legion is, then you need to ask in the comment section below because I would not go into that. This card is the main legion that we have also got in real life, but we actually never really focused too much on him or her, but we focused on the ogles, and I will tell you later on why. But you can see it right away. Because of the Emerald Blaze, well, of course, legion with the Silver Blaze. The Emerald Blaze has the skill is when this unit attacks a Vanguard, if you are in Legion, you Counterblast 2 and put a card with the same card name as your Vanguard from your hand into your soul to call 2 cards from your deck to an empty regular circle. Soul Blast 2, this unit gets extra 2k as a Vanguard. So that first ability is quite good. The Counterblast of 2, losing only 1 card from your hand to call 2, that's actually pretty good, right? It's almost the same as Emperor. Problem right here is that you need to put a card from your hand into the soul, which has the same card name as your Vanguard. In this case, you do have both of the blazes because Emerald Blaze and Silver Blaze, both of them are your Vanguard, as in the Vanguard leader and the Legion mate. So you have more copies in your deck, but this would mean that you will play this card at 4, and you will also have to play the Silver Blaze at 3 or maybe even at 4. But also it has that inconsistent that you could not just have the flexibility of putting whatever you want from your hand into the soul. When it comes to the Silver Blaze, we have already shown her. She has a very good ability, which is set if this unit attacks a Vanguard, if you are in Legion, you Soul Blast 1, and this unit gets an extra 10k. At the end of the battle, it goes to the bottom of the deck. It's a pretty good skill, the same as Bracket, the same as Juggernaut, gain a huge power, and then it leaves the field. When it comes to the Ogles, of course the Ogle in my eye is a way better card, as we have seen that in real life as well. A beautiful SP right here, and just an amazing art and an amazing skill. This card has the ability during your turn, if you have Legioned this turn, then this unit's the Vanguard that attacks get an extra 5k, and then at the end of the battle you put it on the bottom of your deck. This is very important during the turn that you Legion, so this would only work during that turn. It will not work during the turn after that. You have to Legion every turn for this skill to activate. But pretty much it will give all of the attacking Vanguards the extra 5k, and also it would let them leave the field so you have more open Vanguard circles to call some of your attacking units. The second ability is actually quite good because you don't even have to be in Legion for it to be active, which is very important because not all of the time you want your Vanguards to leave the field. Sometimes you just want them there, and sometimes you don't want to Legion yet. And the second ability said when this unit attacks a Vanguard, you counterblast 2 and you put a card from your hand into the soul to call 1 card from your deck to an open Vanguard circle. It's pretty good because it does still cost you a counterblast of 2 and a card from your hand and only calls 1. But the good thing about it is that it activates, you don't have to need to be on Legion, and it will also just activate by putting whatever card you have to your soul from your hand. And the most important thing about this Legion, of course, is having the Frozen Ogle. The Frozen Ogle, they did change the skill a little bit because actually all the other cards have almost exactly the same skill as the original cards from the series, but this one is quite different. What they said is at the end of the battle that this unit attacked a Vanguard during the turn that you Legion. You counterblast 1 and you put this card into your soul to call something else than a Frozen Ogle from your deck to an empty Vanguard circle. The different thing is the original card could call whatever from your deck. So you could go from a Frozen Ogle to a Frozen Ogle to a Frozen Ogle, but this one could not. Also, it said during the battle that this unit attacked the Vanguard during the turn that you Legion. So the same as the other Ogle. You need to Legion the turn you want to use this skill. So you would say I could use the Frozen Ogle with the Emerald Blaze. Yes, you could do so. As long as you Legion that turn, the Frozen Ogle will be active to call more. But the problem right there is you will lose the power, and most of the time you will not have to use your Emerald Blaze. So pretty much up to you to go which route you want to go to, which I will show you later on when it comes to deck building. Then of course we have the Dudley Legion. This was a promo that you have got from, I think, the Neonectar trial deck, if I'm not mistaken. And the fun thing about this card is that we, of course, never really used the grade 3, but we did use the grade 2. Why did we use the grade 2? Because the grade 2 was a 10k body, and that was good. So right here, what we have is the grade 3 first, because the grade 2 doesn't have skill. The grade 3 has the ability when this unit attacks a Vanguard. If you are in Legion, this unit gets an extra 5k till the end of the battle. This unit attacks Vanguard and get an extra 2k. So it could gain a little bit more power, but it's only a 10k body, and that's it. That's everything it does. So pretty much you will not really play this card. But as I said, the grade 2 is a card that you could play because it's actually quite good. Being a 10k body, you could Jelly Bean into it because it's still a Dudley, and with that you pretty much could ride into it or call it because it's also good to boost with the 6k, still hit the right numbers. Alright, so we've talked about the new cards. Now you guys are also interested in which deck builds you could make. The deck builds that you could make are quite different. You could make lots of different decks when it comes to the Spike Brothers. The deck that I play looks a little bit like this. There are lots of things that you could change in this list, but it's pretty much up to you to do whatever you want to do with it. The deck that I normally play, which I will show you right away without the extra cards, and the deck that I played most of the time is actually this one. When it comes to the grade 2, I could also do it like this, just to show you all the options. And now we'll show you the deck. So when it comes to the starter, you pretty much play your Mega Trainer. Mega Trainer is good to search the right card to your hand, which basically is your PG. I play both PGs because pretty much depend on which matchup, which PG you want to go into. But pretty much I like the old PG, the old Merlin more, because sometimes I don't want to take that much damage. And Legioning, you don't have to be on Limit Break 4, so with 3 counterblasts, you're pretty much good to go. So that's why I like the old Merlin more. But I also like the new SP way more because of the beautiful art and just that roses, hearts, or hearts, whatever you want to call them, around her, which the effect is quite well done. So that's why I like to play those. When it comes to other great ones, I play a total of 5 Dudley great ones. The reason why I play Dudley Daisy is sometimes you want that extra power from the rear guards on the back, but you don't really want that rear guard to leave the field. Also, it's a 7k, which is good as a booster sometimes, again, if you don't want to lose that rear guard. Well, the Deadly Phantom make way bigger numbers, but it would lose its place on the field when it leaves the field, so that's also okay, because a 6k in this deck is quite okay, boosting a Vanguard or even boosting a rear guard. Then you have one of the most important rear guards to have in the deck, which is of course Reckless Express. Because you don't have Bracky, you don't have that flexibility, even when you go against decks like Link Jokers or clans like Link Jokers, you actually need a rear guard that it could hit and then leaves the field. So that's why you play the Reckless Express. And also, during those big explosive turns, you'll lose it anyway, because it will go to the bottom of the deck. So you could just also give it that extra 5k, and you most of the time have enough soul. When it comes to the grade 2s, of course you play a total of 4 Frozen Ogles. The card is amazing, it's still very good, even the skill could not call itself. There are a lot of other cards that you could call, like Devil Summoner. Devil Summoner at 4, very important. This card puts lots of work in the early game, as well as in the late game, as well as during that big attacking turn, because he will still hit big numbers. Because remember guys, that your Ogles give extra 5k when they Legion, and your Breakwright give extra 10k when they Legion. So that's plus 15. With the 7k, you still hit the 22 numbers, which is more than enough for you to hit your opponent, even if they get damage on a trigger. The second grade 2 that we run, or third one, as we add the Devil Summoner to the mix, we have of course the Silver Blaze. Silver Blaze give you the ability to call attackers, huge attackers, and this attacker right here will attack for 19 by itself, and if you count the 15k that you get from the Breakwright and the Legion, that's 34 right there. Just crazy. And you could still boost it and make a huge number if your opponent keep getting triggers. I've attacked and hit with this card above 3 Miracle Heals after my opponent taking 3 damage. That was just crazy, because again you could boost it. Then when it comes to the other grade 2s that you could play in the deck, you could play a mix of the Dudley Deckless, the Dudley Mason, and the Dudley Mountie. As long as you play some Dudleys in your deck, you're good, because you want to search those grade 2s. Which one you want to play is pretty much up to you. I started playing the 3 copies of Mason, then I played 1 copy of Mason and 2 copies of Deckless, and then I end up with adding the Mountain deck as well, because I find riding into him sometimes also quite good. But if you ask me, you could do whatever you like. The most of the time I actually just like to play more SPs, because I have them and why not. So I play it like this. And the skill of Dudley Mason you don't really use that much in this deck, because it costs 2 counterblasts and you don't always have that. But it does work very well if you don't have the Skydiver, or if you want to go from a Frozen Ogle to a Mason and back from the Mason to a Frozen Ogle, then that would work. So you could also change the deck a little bit and add in 1 more Mason, or even 3 more Masons, to make the deck more stable, and the deck would pretty much look like this. And this is the strongest deck that I have played, and also the deck that I feel the most comfortable with playing. When it comes to grade 3s, you could play the Juggernauts, or you could play the Jelly Beans. If you play the Jelly Beans, then you have to play the Dudleys. If you don't play the Jelly Beans, then you could play whatever other grade 2s that you want to play in the deck. One of the important grade 2s that you could add to the deck is also Jumbo the Stun Gun. A very good card, could help you with your counter charge management and give you that extra counter charge for you to go ham with your Frozen Ogle and your Bloody Ogle as well. But in my playtesting, I didn't find it as good as it was in the real life game, because now you could not go from a Frozen to a Frozen to a Frozen and then go back to the Bloody Ogle attack and calling something. So I didn't find it necessary, but if you find it necessary, at least add one copy of it in the deck. That would work as well. For the grade 3s, when we come back talk about them, as I said, I play the Jelly Beans and not the Juggernaut because I find it way better, especially to add those grade 2s to the hand to have a defensive early game or just attack with them. And those heals will keep healing, and then when you use them, they go to the drop zone and you legion them back. It's just amazing to do that whole circle of you keep healing. The other grade 3s, of course, we have talked about the Ogles. I don't really need to add any Emerald Blaze or any other Legion, and you combine it with the Break Right. This is a very simple combination, but the most explosive combination that the whole game have, which is great. And then you add in one SP copy of Skydiver. This card does a lot for the deck. There are some crazy combos that you could do with this deck, which I could show you later on. To not make the video even longer, this is the deck that you see on the screen, is the deck that I felt the most comfortable with. You could change it a little bit around with having some cards in the deck. One of the cards that's also good to have in the deck, as in my playtesting, is actually this card. But then again, you need it behind the Vanguard, and you need the right timing for it to use it. But you could add it in the deck and take out the one copy of the Dudley Daisy if you want to. That would work as well. Alright, and the Jumbo the Stun Gun, as we said. So, what do you do to have all of those SPs without having to pay any money or use any gems? The thing for me is, because I don't play Vanguard 0 that much, I also don't grade up that much. So the secret is right here. I don't play the storyline until the Spike Brother event come up. And every time you complete a grade, you actually will get a full stamina. And if you keep doing that and play in that 10 days or 8 days event that you get a full stamina each time. And with that, you'll get a bunch of tickets and use those tickets pretty much to get the right cards. So that is the big secret. The last 1,000 that I have right here, I will not use it because I will still think about what I want to do with it. If I want to open some packs, I could open them, or I will just buy the other cards so I have a copy of each card when it comes to Spike Brothers. Alright guys, thank you for watching, thank you for tuning in our channel. Hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you want me to do some matches or a combo video to show you how the deck operates, I could show you that as well. If you want me to do another deck profile on a different variant of the deck, I could do that as well. Thank you again for watching. Until next time.